What is up, Testifiers? It is Tiff, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. We have plenty of room, so please join the family. I am so excited to be here again with you guys for another video. And today, I want to talk about, are you a builder or are you a breaker? And I think this is something that has been on my conscious in my mind for a while, and just thinking about all the ways that throughout our daily lives we can make the active choice to build someone up or to break someone down. And this can be done in so many ways, but obviously with my channel being more faith-based, I definitely want to stay in that realm and talk about how are we building up each other as a community of believers? How are we encouraging one another? How are we holding each other accountable? I feel like as people that are maybe newer to the faith or still trying to understand, I think it's really important to have that community of people that you can come to and talk about your struggles and what you might be dealing with, and being honest in those conversations and not feeling ashamed or embarrassed about something that you may be personally struggling with. And we want to make sure that we, as the community of faithists and the community of believers in Yah, the Most High, that we are welcoming to those that may be a little bit more nervous or uncomfortable sharing some of their struggles with us. And the way that we do this is by being a builder, of speaking encouraging words, speaking life into those around us. And one of the scriptures that comes to mind, I'm going to pull it up because I don't want to misquote it in any shape or form, is 1 Thessalonians 5 through 11, and it says, "Therefore, encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing." So even in our word, it tells us that we should be encouraging one another and building each other up. And that's even just through our words. There is so much power in our tongue and how we interact and speak with each other every day. And I think a lot of us don't realize how many times we actually are more so breakers in a lot of our relationships, whether they be personal or even professional. The fact that we tend to, as people, it's in our nature to kind of project our own past experiences or notions on certain things, opinions of certain things onto others, and without even realizing it, we automatically can break someone down with those thoughts or those words. So for example, if someone comes to you and says like, "Hey, I've really been struggling with, let's say, a porn addiction," right? And they just have been trying to pray and they don't know what else to do. And let's just say, for example, you've never had that struggle, if you never experienced that struggle, and you're like repulsed, and instead of trying to understand where that person is coming from, you immediately are saying to yourself, "You're disgusting, you should be ashamed of yourself, you should be embarrassed," things like that. And not that you would necessarily say those exact words to that person, but people can pick up on your energy and how you perceive them, right? And even just the slightest inkling that you might be quote unquote turned off by what the person is sharing with you can really hinder someone else's growth and journey. So I just want to make sure that together we're making a community of builders and not breakers. I know for me personally, I am by nature someone that does like to people please, right? And that is something that I've prayed a lot about for a very long time. It is not a good trait to have, especially when you are part of Yah's kingdom. Like, you cannot be a people pleaser. You cannot want everyone to like you, because at the end of the day, a lot of what our faith is based in, the majority of a lot of the world gets offended by it, right? They get immediately offended. We're in a world right now that is full of the cancel culture. You know, everyone is supposed to think exactly the same. The minute you go against what everyone else thinks or believes, you're automatically deemed, you know, hateful, pretty much. And that's not even the case. So we also want to make sure that we're not just being complacent either, as builders, and just encouraging and affirming certain lifestyles or certain beliefs in our community that we know is not what Yah has for our lives, is not within His will. So there is a fine line there that we want to make sure that we are being mindful of and trying our best to remain within. The other thing I want us to think about in the terms of, are you a builder or are you a breaker, is within yourself too. Like, how are you speaking to yourself on a daily basis? How are you showing up for yourself on a daily basis? Are you in a mental state of building yourself up, speaking to yourself positively, and, you know, having those affirmations to yourself, and knowing who you are, and knowing your identity in Yahusha, and knowing that you are His daughter, you are His son, and you are fearfully and wonderfully made in His image. And these are things that you want to speak into yourself every single day, and know that at the core and at your soul. And I think when we speak to ourselves in this positive way, it begins to show outwardly, in an outward declaration of what's going on inwardly. So are we breaking ourselves down every day and speaking to ourselves in a way that is not loving, that is not caring? Even if we fall short, and even if we do something that we're not necessarily proud of, giving ourselves enough grace to say, you know what, I made this mistake. God, forgive me for whatever it is that I've done, and moving on from those things. Are we staying in those negative mindsets? Are we living in shame that necessarily we don't or shouldn't be living in every single day, that is preventing our growth? And I think that's something that, you know, when you just even think of the concept of building and breaking, right? You're essentially building to grow. You usually don't build to destroy. You're building to grow. So if you're building to grow yourself, you need to speak to yourself in a growing, loving way. If you're breaking something, you're destroying, it's crumbling, it's falling apart. So are you saying things to yourself that is going to cause you to feel like on the inside you're crumbling, you're breaking apart? And I want to challenge you all to start keeping a journal, or, you know, even in your phone. If you're not a person that likes to write, I personally love to write things out, handwritten, old school. But if that's not your thing, even just keeping a note section in your phone every single day of how you want to build yourself up that day. What are a few little small things that you want to build? Is it, I want to, you know, read my word at least for an hour a day? Or I want to sit in prayer and meditation for 20 minutes in the morning, and then another 20 minutes at night. You know, small things like that, that'll really start to help you see how you can build yourself up every single day, rather than breaking yourself down or talking down to yourself. And then also taking that outside of yourself, and how you can show up as a builder in other people's lives and not as a breaker. So how can you show up for your loved ones? How can you show up for your spouse, your husband, your wife, your children? That's a huge thing. As a parent, especially, all my moms and dads out there, you want to be a builder in your child's life. and not a breaker. When your child comes to you and tells you that they want to do something that in your mind might seem absolutely ridiculous or far-fetched, yes, there is a level of reality that we all need to live within, but we don't ever want to break our children's spirits or their imagination, because even think about Yahusha and Jesus, how he loved children. And you know why he welcomed children? Because we have to have the hearts of a child to even enter into the kingdom. And that's because children have such innate belief and sureness of themselves, and know what they believe, and have such a faith and an imagination, and we want to nurture those things within ourselves and within our children. So just keeping those types of ideas in mind as we grow and we expand together. So yeah, like I really just wanted to get on here and share that quick word with you guys. Again, please comment. I want to interact with you guys. I want to know how you have been a builder or a breaker in your past, and how you're working towards being more of a builder in your life every single day. Email me, write to me. I'm here. I really want to begin building this community, and I really believe that we are going to be in the generation that is going to see so many prophetic things come to life. We are definitely in the end times, guys, and I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of other videos on how we need to be preparing, but the most important thing we need to be preparing is our spirits and our minds, and we got to be strong for what's coming, and we be in our word, but we also have to be mentally, emotionally, and physically strong for what's to come. And so I think even these small little steps of starting to think in these ideas is going to get us really, really far. So yeah, that is all I have for you guys in this video. Again, please like, comment, subscribe. I would love to hear from you all. And until then, testifiers, y'all bless.